Read all the stories about BYU sports no one else has heard. Go to KSLSports.com for exclusive columns by BYU insider Mitch Harper. That's KSLSports.com.
Happy Sunday. Welcome on in to First and 12. Mitch Harper, Alex Kirry with you. We're getting ready for BYU Utah. The rivalry game is back in the Big 12 era. The two teams took the weekend off. They had a bye week, so it's all eyes towards the rivalry game this Saturday, 8:15 kick late night at Rice-Eccles Stadium. Mitch Harper and Alex here will have you covered on the various platforms, KSLSports.com, the KSL Sports Zone, KSL News Radio.
Bro, that's gonna be a long.
Tons of coverage.
That's gonna be a long. That's gonna be a long Saturday, brother. Because we're gonna. There's gonna be. Because you'll be doing your stuff for KSL News Radio. We kind of break up during the day. You go do the KSL News Radio stuff and the KSLSports.com. I do I get on the zone with Hatch and we do our pre and post game. By the time post game's over, and by the time we all match up, I'm assuming we're not getting to bed till 4 a.m. on Sunday morning. So
yeah,
I'm ready for it. But listen, this is what we signed up for. Not only that, this is what we've been begging for. These two teams playing against one another.
Yes.
We were trying to guess on the time it was going to kick. I was shocked it was the 8:30 kick. I mean, I was kind of
I was
pissed,
stunned too.
I couldn't believe it. I was like, why would you do this to us, Mark? And I guess we could blame Utah for not playing well enough. Maybe that's part of it.
Well, and the biggest thing is that ESPN has first pick in the Big 12, and I'm curious to see what happens next year when the TV contract shakes up. But with ESPN probably wanting to keep the game, but the ESPN networks, they value the SEC first, so they put the SEC teams in prime time and the early spots. So they don't want to lose BYU Utah because they know that's a good late night spot. So late night it is, and it's just a bummer because. Well, why is this game being played on November 9th then if it's an 8:15 after dark? If you're going to play it on November 9th, you better put it in a spot where the rest of the country is going to watch it. So that was disappointing, but nonetheless, we're used to those work schedules with that. And a guy that's definitely used to that late night schedule is Utah head coach Coach Whittingham. This was his bye week comments as they get ready for the Cougs coming up a little bit later.
Yeah, we're going to evaluate this week, and there's two guys in the running, obviously, Brandon Rose and Isaac Wilson, and they're taking equal reps this week, and we'll see where it goes from there.
Would your decision have changed if maybe those field goals went in with Isaac, or was there still kind of?
That's tough to say. I don't know if those field goals would have went in, would Houston have done something different?
Sure.
I mean, it's impossible to go back and try to piece all that together. But no, we would not. Just as the circumstances were, we would not have done anything different.
Do you feel injury played a role in Isaac's kind of decline in play?
He's been pretty banged up this year, but he's a tough kid, wants to be out there, and so if you're out there, you got to perform.
How about Money? How's he doing?
Money's gone for the season. Yeah, it's a season-ending injury, so feel bad for Money. He's been with us for a lot of years and done a lot of good things, but he is out for the rest of the year.
Have you been able to pinpoint what has been going on with the offensive line struggles, or is it going to be?
Well, a lot of the time we're holding the ball too long with the quarterback, so that's part of it. When you look at, there's some metrics, Pro Football Focus say we have the most efficient O-line in the conference. So, I don't know how you measure it all exactly, but I know that we're getting some really good play out of some guys, particularly those tackles, Caleb and Spencer in particular. And we just got to keep coaching, keep working. But the offensive line has been a little bit up and down, but mostly up this year.
Mackay said after the game that he knows what the struggles are, but he didn't want to say what it was. Have you been able to pinpoint kind of what your guys' root of the struggles have been?
Well, in this past game, we didn't run the ball well enough. We didn't defend the run well enough. We lost the turnover margin, again, which has been a theme for this year. Left some points out there by missing a couple field goals. So it was a combination of 4 or 5 things that we didn't do as well as we could have.
With the bye week, how does that help Jakey and the plan with him with the offense?
Well, it gives him a little bit of time to prepare. Last week was such a crunch that there was not a lot of opportunity to tweak things or put much of his stamp on it. But with the bye week, you have a little more opportunity to do that. So that's a positive in that respect.
few guys got opportunities that haven't gotten much run this season. What did, like Jalen Glover and other guys like that, what did you make of their performance?
Jalen played very well. He made the most of his carries, didn't get a ton of carries, but the carries that he did get, he maximized, and he had a really good practice today as well.
Looking ahead to your next opponent, how does it kind of change the dynamic having that game in a league play again?
It doesn't. It's another game, and whether we're in the same league or not, all it does is have implications in the conference standings. Now we know we don't have a shot at obviously at the conference championship, but otherwise you approach it the same way.
You're at a point now with 4 games left in the season. Are there any other players that maybe haven't played that you could still redshirt in these last 4 games?
Yeah, we're looking at that. There's probably half a dozen of those guys that are in that situation that we're monitoring and trying to keep them under that not under the 4, but under the 5-game threshold.
Kyle, would a win in 2 weeks over BYU change the trajectory of your season or of your confidence in your team?
Say that again?
Would a win over BYU in 2 weeks change the trajectory of the season or the confidence of your team?
Oh, it would be a big help. Yeah, obviously. I mean, it's we're in desperate need of a win. There's no doubt about that. We've had four in a row now, and I think the average margin's about a touchdown in every game. And so it's it's not like we're not competing. Our guys are playing hard. They're practicing well. Today was one of our best practices. There's just things that we've got to get better at, and particularly on the offensive side of the ball.
Where's the process at with Cam and potentially him coming back for an 8th year?
That's totally in Cam's court. The ball's in his court, and he is looking at a surgery next week, most likely. And so he's got time to think about that and decide what he wants to do. And you have to ask him to, if he wants to shed any light on that.
Mitch, I think you can answer questions, but I don't think that means you have the answers to the questions. You know what I mean? Like you can say some stuff, and I think Kyle Whittingham is at a loss right now. I think a lot of people in that Utah program will say, well, we need to do X, Y, and Z better. And I think the reality is that putting your finger on what the exact problem is, it's easy to say, well, it's quarterback play right now, and I think that's a lot of it, right? But it's more complicated than that. There's something culturally going on at Utah that we haven't seen in a minute, right? Where it just seems like it's not just the poor play. It's also kind of an aspect of the team that they haven't seen very much of, which is they're not playing as a team very well. And the defense is good, and you can't really tell because these outputs on offense have been so abysmal. And it's a hard one to try to cover up for Kyle Whittingham. Later on in the program, we're going to be able to hear from Mekhi Bernard, who joins JJ and Alex every week. We'll jam a little bit on what he had to say about how some of the things went in Houston, but also how they get ready for BYU. So stay right here with us. More to go around the corner. It is 1st and 12. Happy Sunday to you. And happy shopping. It's all brought to you by Macy's. Mitch will be right back. Let's do more right around the corner. 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone and KSL News Radio.